Hey everybody, the Super Vader 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here. It's time for another retro professional wrestling review. And as you can tell by the title above, it's time for my review of Survivor Series 1993, one of my all-time favorite pay-per-views of 93, and of course, the new generation. This pay-per-view right here, in my opinion, is not only one of the best pay-per-views of 93 in a new generation, but I consider it one of the most underrated professional wrestling pay-per-views of all time. This is also my review and rant on the same event because I only have one issue with this event right here. And like I said, I think this event is way better than what people give it credit for. Um, According to Wikipedia, a lot of last minute substitutions and the card structure and what they saw as a bland main event caused them to give this main event such low ratings. And of course, this was taking place during WWF's down period, which it always seems that the periods where WWF are not as popular or not as doing or not as good are for some odd reason my favorites and slash best periods, which are the Bruno Backlund New Generation era and of course the Ruthless Aggression era. These were considered down times for WWF, WWE, but they were way better than, in my opinion, their most popular periods, the overrated 80s, and of course the highly overrated Attitude era. Attitude era. So with that being said, oh yeah, before I start, this is the review. Um, the matches to this event, the matches to this event will be in the description box below, and will be in a brand new created playlist called Retro Fights and Wrestling Match Reviews. So with that being said, let's get started right now.
Cheesy mozzarella and tangy marinara meets Ruffles crunchy ridges. Now that's a perfect mix.
Hey everybody, Super Vader 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here. This is part 2 of my review of Survivor Series 1993, which I said in part 1 I consider to be one of the best shows, one of the best WWE shows of the New Generation era, and one of the best shows of 1993, and is way better than people normally give this credit for. This is also part two of my rant on this event because believe it or not, despite how awesome this event was, Survivor Series 1993, I have one problem with this event, and I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get that out the way right now. And that right there was the card structure. The first two matches of the night, which was the Harts versus Shawn Michaels and his Knights, and Team Razor Ramon versus Team Razor Ramon versus Team Diesel, Team Team Diesel, or I think the Million Dollar Corporation. I don't remember whose team it was. Those two matches, the very first two matches, the Survivor Series elimination matches. Both of these fights right here should have been the main event. Should have been should have been the main event. Should have been the main event. The second should have been the main event of the night. But instead, these were the first two matches because after this show, you kind of stop caring about this show, despite how awesome the rest of the show was. And the fourth match of the night, which was part one of your double main event, which was the Doink the Clown, Doink the Clown, Bam Bam Bigelow Survivor Series tag team match, that should have been the opener. That should have been one of the openers, along with the Rock and Roll Express versus the Heavenly Bodies match. Both of those should have opened the show. Instead, those were part th- those were part of your triple main event. And the actual main event, which was a Survivor Series tag team match involving um Lex Luger, and Ludwig Borga, should have been should have been that should have been number one of your triple main event with the with Bret Hart's match being the main event, and the second match of your double triple main event being Razor Ramon's match. But that's the only problem I had with this awesome card. Like I said in part one, every fight was good, even the worst match of the night. The the first match, of course, had 1, 2, 3 Kid, Marty Jannetty, Randy Savage, and Razor Ramon. Team Razor Ramon taking on Adam Bomb, Diesel, Erwin R. Shyster, Rick Martel with Harvey Whippleman. This right here was an exciting match. Before the match started, Razor Ramon announced the babyface team. Razor Ramon announced that he had a secret partner, and that secret partner, that mystery man, was the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Randy Savage, who came out to an awesome pop. Once again, despite being much older and actually exposed to the business, knowing how everything works, this is still I still get involved with the characters and storylines, and seeing Macho Man come out to the roar of the crowd was awesome. And this match was just awesome. The match started off with Razor Ramon and Rick Martel exchanging holds and brawling. Then of course next was then of course the other guys got involved. 1, 2, 3 Kid, Marty Jannetty, Savage, all did some stuff. The first guy eliminated was Diesel. By Razor Ramon. Then of course Randy Savage got eliminated when Crush interfered in the match and distracted Randy Savage, allowing Erwin R. Shyster the pin to roll him up for the 1, 2, 3. Then Erwin R. Shyster was eliminated following the Razor's Edge, following the Razor's Edge. Then Razor's Edge. Then Razor Ramon, he got eliminated himself after IRS hit Ramon with the briefcase, and Martel shoved him out of the ring, forcing him to receive a count out, Then Rick Martel, then 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty won the match for their team by rolling up Martel and Adam Bomb for double sunset flips for the 1-2-3. Like I said, awesome fight. Like I was saying about the storylines. Now, when I was a kid and saw this, I thought this was real. But as an adult, even though I know this is fake, this is scripted, this is worked, it is still awesome. It is still awesome and heroic seeing Macho Man's team, Razor Ramon's team triumph over the villains, and the villains were awesome heels and provided an awesome obstacle. One of the last times 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty. I actually like X-Pac better as 1-2-3 Kid, and I love Marty Jannetty. Consider him one of the most underrated wrestlers who drugs and politics destroyed his career. But this was one of his last shining moments here. No, the next match of the night. The next match of the night is, in my opinion, the match this event was built around. That was, in my opinion, one of the best feuds of the New Generation era, and that is Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. The Hart family, Bret, Bruce, Keith, and Owen Hart with Stu Hart taking on Shawn Michaels and his Knights, which the Black Knight was territory wrestler Jeff Gaylord. The Blue Knight was Greg the Hammer Valentine. The Red Knight was Barry Horowitz, which I had no idea. And of course, this was a phenomenal fight. One of the most unique things about this Survivor Series right here was only one member from the babyface team was eliminated, and everyone from Shawn Michaels' team was eliminated except him. And this match ended when he couldn't fight no more and chose to be a coward and retreat. But once again, Shawn Michaels, I like him better as a babyface, but he is so much more awesome as a heel. He especially now that I'm older and know what him and the clique were doing. And what an asshole he was around this time. What an asshole he was around this time. But what an asshole he was. What an asshole he was around. What an asshole he was around this time. Sorry, I was getting the musical outro for this video ready. Sorry for this momentary pause.
Budget and a big family. Holidays are a challenge.
How about 4K TVs?
So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, the Survivor Series. So yeah, like I was saying, and once again, just like the first match, despite knowing that this right here is scripted, I was still involved. I was still marking out and involved in the match as I was involved in the story being told in this ring, as I was when I was a child and saw this for the first time and believed it to be true. Like I said, WWF's New Generation era was the best era. Was one of the best eras they had, alongside the Bruno Bob Backlund era of the 60s and 70s. 70s was one of the best eras. They had best wrestling, characters, storylines, and everything. And one of the best feuds of all time is Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels of the New Generation era. This right here was awesome. So like I was saying about the match, it started off with the first night eliminated was the Black Knight, eliminated by Owen Hart after the missile drop kick. The second was eliminated by Bret Hart with the sharpshooter. The third was eliminated by Owen Hart too. one of the cooler and memorable parts of the match, because this would also set up one of the other best feuds of the new generation, Bret versus Owen feud, where Shawn Michaels Irish whipped Irish whipped Owen Hart into Bret Hart and followed that up with a roll up, eliminating Owen Hart, the only Hart to get eliminated from this match, and then Shawn Michaels, he tried to fight the rest of the Hearts on his own. He tried to fight the rest of the Hearts on his own, but he couldn't do it, and he had to make a tactical retreat. And thus the Hearts, thus with Michaels being eliminated, being counted out, and having no more members left on his team, Bret, Bruce, and Keith Hart are the sole survivors and win the match for their team. This match right here should have been the main event of the night, because after this match, who cares about the rest of the show? But let's continue with the rest of the show on this card. The next match of the night was the Heavenly Bodies defeating the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert Morton, in an awesome tag team match. Don't remember the finish, but I will detail it in my match review, which is next. The next match of the night was the Bushwhackers. Men on a Mission, Mabel and Mo, taking on Bam and Bigelow, Bash and Booger, Head Shrinkers, Fatu and Samu. This was the worst match of the night, but it was entertaining. This was the funniest match on the card and should have been one of the openers, not the first of your double main event or second of your triple main event. This same with the previous match, the Heavenly Bodies and Rock and Roll Express match. That should have been the opener instead of being the fourth match and the third match and the first match of your triple main event. But awesome series of fights here, man. Awesome series of fights here, and especially the end of the Bushwhackers and Men on a Mission, of course, defeat Bigelow, Booger, and the Fatu and Samu, the Head Shrinkers. But the way it ended was just hilarious. Even as an adult, was still funny. Comedy done the right way. But this match was at the wrong place on the card. And Bam and Bigelow always gives a good performance. It was his team I wanted to actually win. Win. Bam and Bigelow and Men on a Mission are the only ones I cared about and liked in this match. The main event had the All-Americans, Lex Luger, the babyfaces, Lex Luger, the Steiner brothers, Undertaker, taking on the Foreign Fanatics of Crush, Jacques of the Quebecers, Ludwig Borga, and Yokozuna with Cornette, Johnny Polo, who of course is Raven, and Mr. Fuji. Phenomenal fight with Lex Luger, of course, with Lex Luger and Ludwig Borga being the sole survivors of their team, and of course Luger managed to get his second win against Borga after Borga hit him with Undertaker's urn for the 1, 2, 3 to become the sole survivor and win the fight for his team. The order of eliminations were Rick Steiner with Ludwig Borga defeating him after reversing a crossbody from Rick Steiner. The next one was Crush. Who Randy Savage in retaliation for costing him the match earlier, came out and started brawling with Crush. Next was Jacques of the Fanatics, pinned after Luger hit him with an elbow smash. The next was Scott Steiner, whom Yokozuna pinned after a leg drop. After a leg drop. Then of course Undertaker and Yokozuna were both counted out. Counted out after they started brawling on the outside, thus leaving Ludwig Borga and Lex Luger to get at it. After Ludwig Borga hit Lex Luger with the urn, Luger managed to find his second win and channel some Lugermania, and start unloading on Ludwig Vogt and hit him with the running elbow smash for the 1, 2, 3. It was such a heroic moment. I loved Lex Luger during this period. He was way better in WCW. A way better character in WCW as the total package. But I love the All American hero, and I love babyface Luger, even though he's much better as a heel and tweener. So yeah, this was my review of Survivor Series 1993. Next is the match reviews. All right, I'll see you guys later.